In this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to create a very simple standard material in 3ds. So what I'm going to do is first of all open the material editor here by clicking on this and then going to an open slot. So just scrolling down there and currently grabbing this one by default. So what I'm going to do is create a concrete material. And I'm going to do that using a couple of different tools as you see here. So the first thing we're going to need is some sort of image editor. Now for some reason Photoshop is not working on my machine, so I've just downloaded GIMP. Available gimp.org downloads, and we're not using an awful lot on the editor itself, so this is perfectly adequate. The other thing I'm going to do is grab an image from textures.com. So textures.com, you can register for this. I've already signed in, and you can see there's quite a large selection of things you can choose from here. The image we're going to be using is this one here, this concrete plate texture. And we're going to use this as the basis for our material, but you can see there's plenty of other things you can grab. So for instance, under fabric here, carpets, leathers, things like that. So lace trims. So look at the leather there. Just clicking in on that. And again, you can see it's just images of the various types of leather. And we can use this to create other materials as well. So just push that out of the way. And back to this. So there's my material, currently set as 13 default. So I'm just going to change this to my material, T-E-R-I-L. And under the type here, I'm going to move away from Arca Design, and I'm going to actually create a standard material. So under the materials here, standard, and click OK. Now this will allow me to create, again, a standard material, so blinn, fong, all that kind of stuff is in here. So the one I'm interested in this time is a blinn material. And this is going to use a bunch of bitmaps to create our material. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the diffuse. Now I've already downloaded the plates from textures. So if you just preview that, you can see it there. It's a reasonably it is a good quality image, and this particular image has been set up to allow for tiling. So again, you'll see that on the downloads. So this is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to use this image here as part of my material. So I'll just close that off, push that out of the way, and under the diffuse here, I'm going to click on this button here, and it's asking me for a bunch of information. So I want a bitmap. I'll click OK on that, and that's my previous version. So I will go to, let's see, the parent directory there, materials, concrete plates, and this is the one we're going to use, so that one, and we'll click OK, or open I should say. Now you see here it's already popped in. So this is the material as applied, so if I double click on this we can get a larger view of it. The scaling of this is going to depend on what you put in here. So what I'm going to do, just to make this a bit bigger and a bit more visible, is I'm going to change this up to 4,000. So what that means is basically 4 meters is going to be the size of the image as rendered in. So that's it in, and you can see the effect there. So let's see that on there. You can probably push it a bit higher if you want. Now that is map number 16 against that. So I need to go back to the parent object there, and you can see now that the map has been applied, and you can see it in here. So we can show the material in the viewport, and that's that. That's the first stage anyway. So we have the bitmap applied, and if I create an object and apply this material to it, well, we can see what happens. So I'll just close that for a moment. I'm going to create an object, so create standard primitive box. I'm going to create quite a big one because it is quite a big piece of material. So I'm going to just pop that on, and it's still not big enough, so maybe I need to create a much bigger one. And try this. There you go. So now you can see that. Again, look at this. The scaling of this thing is huge. I've set up the bitmap to be 4 meters by 4 meters, so it's quite large. Let's see. So that's it there. You can see how that's behaving. The next thing we need to do is add a bump map to this basically. So in order to create that, what we need to do is edit a copy of the image. So what I've done is I've fired up GIMP already. This is GIMP, and you'll see when you fire it up, you have a couple of toolbars that come with it. So these kind of float, they're not tied to the window, so they can kind of float around anywhere on your screen. So what I'm going to do is open, and there we go. Hang on a sec, I'll grab this thing in here. So if I open materials, concrete plates, this is the one we're working with. So concrete plates 0007. So I'm going to open that. And this is what we see. So this is the image itself, and what I actually want to do here is create a bump map. Now the first thing I need to do is desaturate the image completely, and that will then form the basis of the bump map. So I go into colors, hue saturation right there. Let's grab this dialog, there it is, and under saturation just pull it back to 0, so there's now no color anywhere in this. And what will happen is 3ds will pick up this material, dark spots will be pushed back and light spots will be pushed forward. So that's it there, and I can click OK on this. Now ideally we should be able to save this out or use a save as, but GIMP prefers to export. So what I'm going to do is export as, and grab my dialog here. I'm going to call this concrete plates bump, B-U-M-P, and click export. Maybe I'll just hit enter on this instead. There we go. So it's going to ask me the type or quality and all the rest. Yeah, really good. Off we go. I'm done with that for the moment, so I'm just going to push it all out of the way. Incidentally, GIMP is free and really quite useful. Have a look in my browser now, and this is our original image, and you can see the bump map here. So it's concrete plates bump. So back into the material itself here, and under maps, if I open up this, you can see the diffuse color map is the one we put in. What we want to do now is put in the bump map. So let's open up this so you can see it happening. So just double clicking on the dialog there. For some reason it's not opening up. Anyway, I'm just going to grab this. So into the bump map, click on the map button here, looking for another bitmap, and there it is, the bump. Click open, and now that has been applied in here. So I'm going to go back to parent again, and you can see it there. So if I double click on this, there we go, it's running up the preview. Now you mightn't be able to make it out, but because I didn't change the scaling on this, you can actually see the outline of the bump map in here already. So if I turn off the diffuse here, you might be able to make out the shapes there. So you can actually see the underlying shape. So what I'll do is turn the diffuse back on. Now I want to go back into the bump map and change these to 4 meters to match the image itself. So 4 and 4. Hit enter. Go back to parent here, and we should be able to see that looks a bit better. If I turn off the diffuse color there, you should be able to see the outline as created by the bump map. If you want greater relief in it, if you want the bumps to be deeper, I guess, you can change the scaling here. So if I push this to maybe 50 and hit enter, we get much more definition on there. Now be careful about it because you can push it too far. So I'm going to turn back on the diffuse color, and that'll preview there. So you can see a bit of texture on it, but it's pushed too high now. It's looking unrealistic. But I'm going to leave it there anyway. And then we can look at this. So it's all been applied on here already. Now when you zoom in and out, you're not going to see much in this, but when you render it, it does make a difference. So I'll just zoom into this area here and hit the render button. And you can see it at work here. So you can see there it is, all the bumps appearing on it. Let's see, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's a bit too sharp there, so maybe a bit of cleaning up on the bump map might have helped. So that's step one anyway, in how we create a material. So we can get some texture on that simply by using a picture as a diffuse color and then setting the bump map. So again, bump map itself is simply just desaturated version of the diffuse. Thank you for watching.